mood for a little trip, I can take you to Vardenfell. Ports of call include Seydenin and Vivec City.
What is it?
One of those Daedric monstrosities.
We know your future, Oracle Witch!
Find the Oracle!
First these Daedric aberrations and now you? What trouble has Oracle Mariv dredged up this time? The Great Mage? That doesn't surprise me. He's always had a peculiar fascination with Mariv's talents. My sister prefers her solitude, but we come by occasionally to check on her. When I arrived, the Daedra were everywhere, but Mariv wasn't here. Interesting. I noticed fresh ink on one of her parchment sheets. I think she was writing something when the Daedra appeared. This vision must have been special to attract the attention of those unnatural creatures. Perhaps, but there's no evidence of violence here. No, I think she sent her message and escaped to a place of safety. Probably the old weird site in what is now the Mines of Chorus. It's a good place to hide. Seek Mariv there. Be careful. Those old mines may be abandoned, but that doesn't mean they're empty. Meanwhile, I shall tell my sisters what occurred here.
Reachmen in North Glen? This is terrible.
You're just the type Sergeant Anteve is looking for.
If this isn't the dumbest strategy I ever heard, I don't know what is.
there. How would you like to do something worthwhile? You look capable. I could use some help. If you aren't afraid of a ruthless, dastardly scoundrel. Let me start again. I represent Cyrodiilic Collections, a society dedicated to finding, retrieving, and restoring lost treasures of the Argonians. Our society consists of my sister, myself, and a few associates. We've been preparing an expedition to return the antiquities we've recovered to Murkmire, deep in the heart of Black Marsh. Unfortunately, our competition has become aggressive. One and the same, Margus Darius. He's a looter of history who cares only about profit. He was a member of our society until he stole our research and disappeared. I need you to infiltrate the nearby Outlaws' Refuge and find out what Margus is up to. While I've never visited an Outlaws' Refuge myself, I have it on good authority that all manner of ne'er-do-wells frequent such places. Scoundrels, black marketeers, and smugglers of ill repute. Just the sort of company that Margus keeps. Talk to a few more connected rapscallions that conduct business down there. I know a few of them by reputation. Look for Grathal, an information broker, Urzashi, an antiquities black marketeer, and Ashundir, a historic treasure smuggler.
Quality wares.
The river flows so slowly, much slower. A living soul. It has been so long. To walk the river again, it is so strange and so sad. I and the other Saxhleel have not returned willingly. We Argonians were slaves to the Chimer in our time, as I sense they can be today. Even in death, we serve our cruel masters, slaves to their will. The Chimer would not willingly release us to Aetherius. To set their souls free on the river, you will have to destroy the Keepers. If you would do this, you will find me on the road away from here. I sense something I must see for myself.
Light it!
Why do you defile the dead?
Flank, now!
The smell of brimstone is strong in my nostrils. Even as a spirit, this place smells of ash and death. Have you done as I asked? You are very kind. Strangely kind for a place like the Ashlands. I stand here, tasting the air, and do you know what I've learned? The Saxalil you saved, the Argonians, they are not the only ones in danger. This pact forged in the wake of war is fragile, so fragile. Remember the history of violence against my people, and treat them well as you walk the river's edge. My brethren are safe, and the Ashlands bubble with hope. I pass now down the river to swim in the currents of Aetherius. Go well in your own passage, traveler.
He's not the sharpest arrow in the quiver.
Fear the fury of the unliving.
You've arrived. So, let's begin.
By your bones, I compel you. Serve our spirits. Fool! You don't have the power to compel me. Vivec, guide us. His scream, so much pain. Is it done? My brother's spell bound them to guard Darvan's watch. It wasn't supposed to be like this. It wasn't supposed to be like torture. It worked. But this was necromancy of the blackest sort. My brother. It was his work. And I, swit that I am, helped him. Necromancy. He tricked me into doing Molag Bal's will. I knew his studies pushed the fringe. It must have been that circle of mages he's taken up with. He thought I didn't know. Unsavory types, disbarred from the Mages Guild. I was going to find out the truth. You should investigate. They meet in a cave near the southern camp.
the Master's mace you shall die!
I don't like the look on your face. What did you find in that cave? Sacrificing our own people! This monstrosity must stop! The commanders at Darvan's Watch must see this immediately. And I must tell them about Giron.
Where is that blasted lizard?
I remember when I'd hunt here for days and not see a soul. The war was on and people stayed behind walls or stuck to roads. Those days are behind us. Like I said, I was hunting. But now that the volcano's erupted, I'm headed to Deshaun. Don't want to get cooked. I'll be leaving as soon as my suite of a partner shows up. You haven't run into an Argonian named Stands in Stillwater, have you? He's a good friend, but he never shuts up. Nothing still about him. He was supposed to meet me here, but I've waited too long already. If you're heading north of Ash Mountain, can you keep an eye out for him? He should have a camp up there. Thanks. Not many willing to help these days, especially a dusty Ashlander like me. We'd planned to rest up at the Davanus' farm near Kragenmoor before passing through the Deshaun Gate. He should know it. That's right. Though in truth, I have no clan. I make my living hunting and trading. Stillwater and I try to keep to the wilds and stay out of the way. They're alive and well, but that's a longer story that I don't have time for. Stillwater is a bit of an outcast himself. He escaped House Drez as a slave before the pact was signed. I think that's why we've stuck together for so long.
Well done. I am Shalador, young one, and I think you'll do nicely. Return that book to Velost. Tell her fire will show her the words.
Another stranger swims into our wallow. So, Dark Elf, have you come to gloat about our Hist? Are you its murderer? Speak. It's dying. It was never healthy. This isn't Black Marsh after all. So in the last few weeks, it's withered. We've learned that House Drez is poisoning it. It's not enough to have enslaved us for generations. Now they want to carve our hearts out. The best we can do is fertilize it. We're using mud crab meat wrapped in ash reed. Both are common around the quarter. We've also set guards around the tree to keep the Dunmer away. If you wish to aid us, gather the items I requested. Ash reeds grow in the tide pools in our quarter, and mud crabs thrive on the shores nearby. Gather some of each and present them at the roots of our Hist. Some of our people heard a dark elf talking to others of his kind. He asked if they'd seen the Drez rowing out to our Hist tree. He saw jars of poison in the boat. That's not hard to believe. Ravel Urano. My people overheard him at the inn. He was drunk and talking too loud. No one spoke to him directly. It's never been wise for an Argonian to confront a Dark Elf. Especially lately. We're far from Black Marsh. No, but it's not difficult to believe, is it? The Drez think we're little more than animals. But the Pact freed us. What they can't enslave, they destroy. The Drez have always regarded Argonians as little more than savage children. We needed to be civilized, so they uplifted us by putting us to work as slaves on plantations and in mines. No more. Now we speak beside them in the council. What do you have there? We are allowing no one to approach the Hist, especially strangers claiming they wish to help us. We just caught a Dark Elf trying to poison the tree. Your words smell fair, but tasting is proof. Let me see what you have there. Yes, I erect the spine of apology. While you were away, we caught a dark elf defiling our hist. Please, apply the fertilizer you've gathered to the base of our hist. As long as I'm with you, the guards will let you through. One of our guards is escorting him to my lodge. He seems half mad. He was doing something to the tree, and apparently he is of House Drez.
You're not welcome here, Dark Elf.
Let this one through. Meet me back at my lodge.
Do not add to my problems.
It seems we have proof that the Drez are trying to murder our tree. While you were gathering mudcrab meat and reeds, the guards caught him trying to harm our hist. We can't get anything out of him but his name and house. Seems the rumors were true. House Drez is trying to murder our hist. He was scratching at the bark, licking our tree. When the guard shouted at him, he dropped an empty bottle. Now he's very ill. The truth is as plain as the face of Masser. You may do as you wish, but his mind is boiling. His words skitter like a mud crab in a pan. You will gather no moisture from this one.
It's all connected. They're all connected. They hide it from us, but I can see it now. What did I do? What did it do to me? I see. I feel. I'm awake. I touched it. It smelled like flowers and black earth. It tasted like rain and summer wind and the deepest green. He said the tree's sap would be better than skooma. He was right. He said the Argonians might be angry. Do you think they're angry? To me, they always look angry. It's the teeth. He gave me the bottle, said it was for the tree. I thought it was skooma. I tasted it. It was bad. I fed it to a lizard. He didn't like it either. He died. The bottle broke. How can I fill it with sap? I never saw him before. I asked him for coin to get more skooma. He was a Dunmer. Someone called him Bravil? Weevil? Wabberjack? Ravil, that's it.
Ravel? I can't believe it. Ravel. Ravel Urano claimed he saw House Drez poison our history. Then he gave a bottle to this tree-licking waste of flesh. I smell worm scat. Someone has been playing us for fools, and I no longer believe it's House Drez.
I hope your arrival will prove a boon to Ebonheart. The residents are at each other's throats. Beyond, no one will work together. Each faction has a different reason. Which would you like to know about? The Nords in town are lumber traders from the Rift. You might have noticed a lack of trees. When they asked Hraelgar Stonecrush to help defend the town, he accused us of being fancy. I assume that's an insult in Skyrim. Also, I think he was drunk. Our people love fighting. It's our nature. We fight the land just to survive. Only the Dunmer's natural superiority allows us to flourish in this wasteland. Lately, our people have been demoralized. Even disciple Sildrus at the Tribunal Temple expects defeat.
Is it true they summoned Balreth to defeat the Daggerfall army?
It can't be. They wouldn't. I have no reassurance to offer. Do what you think best in the time remaining.
I am a disciple of the Tribunal. My people come to me for comfort, yet I have none to give. The three are silent. I lift my voice, but they do not answer. The Covenant circles Ebonheart, and I cannot even pray for wisdom. The Tribunal punishes the people for my faithless ways. The shrines to Almalexia, Sothasil, and Vivec are surrounded by a foul smell and angry Aelit. Please, do what I cannot. Burn these flowers at the shrines, then pray for Ebonheart.
Burn the flowers at each shrine. They're a rare variety of gold carnet called Roland's Tears, and are sacred to the three. I pray they hear you.
Speak. All prayers are heard, not all are acknowledged. Every small cog drives a greater gear. Each is necessary, otherwise the whole collapses. When any cog shivers from the stresses on it, the Master feels it. But the load he assigns it is no more than he knows it can bear. Wizard, mystic, master of the Clockwork City, an architect of time and a binder of oblivion, one who masters the tools that mastered others. Does this answer satisfy? Good. Seek. Learn. When you are prepared, find the Master. He will be interested to hear your conclusions.
I appear at my lord's behest. Or perhaps I was always here, and you merely lacked the ability to see me. Actions carry conviction better than words. A skilled poet arranges for others to be where they should be, when they should be, to fulfill his needs and desires. Yet the question Sildras asked was not the one in his heart. A man of poisoned words put doubt in Sildras's heart. He said the poet is less than he once was. Tell the disciple that Vivek's words and wit and way of war are as keen as always. What is Vivek beyond these? Vivek is a warrior poet, the ruthless and elegant soul of his people. He guides and protects all. Sharp of eye and tongue is he. Long is his reach. Longer is his spear. How can this question be on the lips of anyone in Morrowind? The sermons of Vivek are beside every bed. Vivek's psalms are sighed from every maiden's lips. His wisdom makes his people as hard, capable, and enduring as the poet himself. All know Vivek, for Vivek would have it so.
My Lady Almalexia bids you carry a message to Disciple Sildrus. The Tribunal does not abandon their people. Just as a parent shelters children from dangers they cannot comprehend, the three shelter the Dunmer from threats beyond their ken. Tell him that my lady is mindful of his doubt and fear. There is no shame in either, so long as he helps others bear their burdens. By helping others, his fears will be allayed. But if he spreads his despair, my lady will chastise him. Ah, you are the child whose soul was stolen. My lady is concerned for you. Almalexia is the merciful healing mother of the Dunmer. She is the most beloved of the Tribunal. I am merely a servant and messenger of my lady, not a teacher or priest. Seek the temples and libraries to learn more. Perhaps in time, you may speak to Almalexia herself.
I can feel the blessings upon you. It's a power I've not felt myself for many years. I see. I hadn't considered there might be threats more grave than the Covenant invasion. You would think, given all we know of the treachery of Cold Harbor, that I would see that. What of Sotha Sil? I am ashamed. The three have shown more faith in me than I have in them. I dread asking this, but what of Lord Vivec? Ha! Yes, I should have known. Vivec is the most subtle of the three. It's true, I've been counseling a Dunmer who questions his faith. He told me the Tribunal are losing their powers. Only indirectly. We see the three less every year. They no longer make their annual pilgrimage to Red Mounting on Vardenfell, and no one knows why. It all seemed so convincing when he said it. His name is Ravil Urano. He hasn't come to pray for days now. He was in such despair. I think he'd even stopped bathing. The last time I saw him, he smelled terrible, like fresh offal. What? Have I been a fool? I questioned my faith for the flimsiest of reasons and caused others to question theirs. I have much to do to correct my failure. I wish I knew why Ravil Urano's doubting words were so compelling.
Honor for the pact, they says. Hardy ha ha, I says. Well, well, aren't you a fancy lass? What do you want, elf? Come to complain about the daggers? Go hide behind your mother's skirt, not the Nords. Aye. The milk drinkers landed to the west at that big yellow tree thing. Now the Dres have got their skirts in a twist. Oh, please save us, big strong Nords. Fancy lads, the lot of them. They think Nords only exist to save elven asses. Bring them on. We don't skeever out of a fight. When we're attacked, we fight. I wager you think we should fight for the rest of the pact. All right. Prove they've got some backbone. Let's see you beat 3 of my men, and do it the Nord way. We fight drunk. We've got a keg of fine, strong mead from Riften right here. Pour yourself a mug and get to it. Unless you're too fancy, of course.
I hear dark elves are milk drinkers. Too bad. I bet a good mead would loosen your back ends enough for you to pull the sticks out of them.
You could only beat me if I was blind, stinking sober. And I'm not.
This won't take long.
You got me. Say, you're not bad.
I hear dark elves are milk drinkers. Too bad. I bet a good mead would loosen your back ends enough for you to pull the sticks out of them. You're clever, you are. Let's see how well you take a blow. I'll chop your head clean off. Stop. I need more mead.
I hear dark elves are milk drinkers. Too bad. I bet a good mead would loosen your back ends enough for you to pull this. I hear dark elves are milk drink. Are you? This should be fun. Oof! I yield, friend. Good fight.
Well, you're not half bad, I'll give you that. I said I would, and I don't go back on my word. I hope the rest of the Pact fights like you, not that milk-drinking Urano. Ravel Urano, that dark elf here before you. He kept asking to buy our lumber so we'd leave town. I told him no, we had a contract to keep. But he offered to double it. No one pays that much for wood. Even good rift spruce. What a skeever. Don't know and didn't ask. His story smelled like last week's fish. Whole time we were talking, he kept looking around for a crack to ooze through, sweating like. The boys ran him off with a few light cuffs to the head. He hasn't come back since. Right. Things like that. They're exactly why we keep to ourselves in the Elven lands. That and the bad food. Anyway, you're all right. Tell that fancy Othrol we'll fight. Come back and drink with us again sometime.
Have our town's fortunes improved? That's a great relief. Well done. The Covenant troops haven't left their encampment to the west, but it's only a matter of time before our inactivity encourages them. I don't know this, Myr. Why would he cause so much trouble? Perhaps he's an agent of Sheogorath. That's an unpleasant thought. The Daedra of Chaos is worse than any mere Covenant army. Can you aid me further? Ravel must have a house in town. I'd like you to find it and watch him. I'd like to see myself, but I'm sure he'll recognize me, so I'll need to cast a spell on you. Commoners would call it a scrying spell, but I'm beyond such crude hedge magic. It will enable me to see and hear what you do. Furthermore, I'll be able to speak to you. Search for Ravel's home. I expect it's on the west side of town. You should be able to hear me now. There he is. Let's follow him.
Get away from me, brigand.
Merchants to the great houses.
There he is. Let's follow him.
Hey, Ravel! No waffle today. The temple's forbidden all sales.
Quiet, fool. I paid you for your discretion, remember?
Look here. It's that fancy sod was in our camp. Hey, fancy man. Fallen on any swords lately? Saying we shouldn't help the Dunmer? Like a Nord would ever turn down a fight.
drunk one took your advice, Silvertongue. He now regrets it. For shame.
It was just idle talk, friend. I assure you, I had nothing to do with it.
He went into that shack. Wait for him to leave. He's out. That was fast. Try to get inside that shack. A communication spell. Let's see who Ravil called.
Ofer. What now, Ravil? So you're the meddler who undid all of Ravil's work. Such a waste of my time.
That woman wore a Covenant uniform. Ravil must be working for the enemy. Go to his house and see what you can find. I'll send my guards.
What are you doing here? You won't take me. Cornell gave me potions.
The guards heard fighting. I assume you found more inside than just evidence? Having him alive might have been useful, but having him dead is just as good. The ritual items in the shack on the docks and his belongings might tell us something more.
You saved countless lives, uncovering Ravil Urano's treachery.
Ah, my business partner. I've located another rare and valuable vintage here in Ebonheart. Are you willing to acquire it for me? There's a bottle of White Gold Tower here in Ebonheart. The war wizard who owns it retired to this town and opened an inn. Phadrasa Andrethi took the bottle off the battlefield. Now it's gathering dust in her private reserve. She was a decorated soldier in the Ebonheart Pact. Now she tends to guest at the Ebony Flask. Her Nightflower servants probably know her best. If you want to know how to get that bottle, talk to one. Just let me know what I can do to help. She used to serve in the Morrowind army as a war wizard. I think the explosions were too much for her. After she retired from service, she opened the Ebony Flask with Darvinil Sarvel. Not exactly, but then again, that's your side of this business, isn't it? My only advice is to talk to the Nightflowers at the inn. In their line of work, they learn all the best secrets. Just let me know what I can do to help.
How about a little game of chance? I have terrible luck, but that's bound to change, right? Lady Fedrosa. I don't care for her, actually, but the money here at the Ebony Flask is good. If it wasn't, Amula and I would have cleared out long ago. She's just too jumpy. They say the Akaviri War made her twitchy. She's easily startled by the strangest things, like lizards. Those lizards infesting the Argonian Quarter drive her crazy.
Might I sing you a song, my lady? Can I tell you a tale? We could take a private room. I've been told I have a silver tongue. I don't hate her, but there's no love lost between the Nightflowers and Fedrosa. She regards us a necessary evil. She doesn't even partake of our talents. Plus, she's incredibly jumpy. My guess is she's caught one too many fireball blasts in the war. She still hates loud noises. There's an alchemist next door who's constantly testing flash powder and sulfurs. If she hears so much as a pop, she jumps right out of her skin.
You have a look about you. Some sort of quality that's rare to find. And trust me, I'm never wrong about these sort of things. Can I interest you in a room at the local inn? Actually, wait, that came out wrong. Look, empty rooms are just bad for business. The upkeep alone costs me more than the place is worth. But I think we can come to a sort of arrangement. And not the sort of arrangement that involves a few drinks. Let me be clear about that. I need someone to improve the reputation of my properties. A hero type who people look up to. And I have a feeling about you. You've done something great and are probably on the way to do something greater. Seems like we can help each other here. Yeah, all right. Details. I can see how this might be a bit sketchy, but don't worry. The inn room is well kept, conveniently located. I know you adventuring types wanting a home in every town. This would be a nice addition to your holdings. No catch. I just need someone to freshen up my image. And my gut tells me you're the one to do that. As long as you're not planning on turning it into a skooma den or an outlaw's refuge, the room is all yours. Oh, sure. You can set up some crafting stations, house your pets, display any treasures or trophies you've come upon in your adventures. Hey, you can even set up a target dummy to practice combat. Just don't demolish the place and we're good. Excellent. You won't regret this decision, I swear. Here's the deed and key to the room. Took me a while, but I finally was able to take them back from the last tenant. Required more time in the sewers than I had hoped for, but hey, that's business. Hope the room is to your liking. With your reputation, I'm sure you shouldn't have any trouble with the neighbors. If you do, remember death threats are not the way to go. Had a spot of trouble when my last tenant started sending those out.
Today, over the seas and far away. Over the seas and over the lane.
smell? Did another stinking lizard get in here? Get away from that! Get away from that!
Good to see you, comrade. Hope you've had ample opportunity to batter around someone deserving.
What's that distinctive bottle I see peeking from your pack? Masterfully done. Truly a procurement worthy of praise and reward. It's an honor and a privilege doing business with you, friend.
This is taking forever.
No charge to have a look.
Hail and well met.
Have we met? I don't remember.
I believe I'll have another.
And then he said